Hello and welcome back into another episode of Off the Boards. I am your... Ryan's camera just fucked up. Whatever. I'm Josh. In the middle there we have Ethan, and on the far right side there we have Ryan. How are you guys doing today?
Oh, I'm doing pretty well.
Well, it's the way it needs to be, Finally we got hockey back. Preseason started. We're one step closer to getting another regular season, boys.
Yep.
We can start off today. I think we'll start off with going through the signings that we missed last week. Actually,
Yeah.
before we do that, I hinted towards this in the last episode, and I want to give Ethan the chance to actually explain himself better, because I said that he was crazy on the sticks, which is true. This man's insane on the sticks. But, Ethan, what is LG?
Well, it's short for League Gaming, and it's basically a virtual hockey career simulation of your character online on the EA Sports NHL games. So basically, as soon as you first sign up for LG, you're put into a bidding system for the CHL. You have the opportunity to try out for teams to get yourself noticed. If you get yourself noticed, teams can bid on you within their own salary cap, just like the real NHL. And you work your way up from the CHL to the NHL, and you play your career, your online career through this league.
I mean, honestly, it's pretty sweet. I mean, I used to play competitive chell. I was terrible at it. I played defense. Ethan was always good at the fucking game. So, like this man goes crazy on the sticks, guys. That's all I'm saying. If I ever need to get carried, this guy, he knows. He knows. Just give me this.
You were good, man. You were good. It's fun.
Yeah, I was all right. I did my damn best. I wasn't great, but I wasn't the worst out there. Just give me 1 second here. I accidentally froze up the image screen. There we go. Perfect. Everyone's back on my screen. I'm trying to find something here. Yeah, so Ethan is insane on the sticks. He finished top 15 in points in the ECHL last year. And yeah, I mean, Ethan, where can we watch the LG games? Do you guys have like a website or anything? Or?
Yeah, so if you go on lghl.com, you'll find the main page. It's very easy to access, and to get into where you want, everything's right in front of you. So if you want to check out rosters on Xbox or PlayStation side, if you want to check out games, there's always games from Sunday to Tuesday, usually around 9 p.m. East to 11 p.m. East. The main game range. So any time between those times, you can usually find a game. And honestly, if you play NHL, I highly recommend it. It's a really fun experience from what I've had. And if you're into that, it's like an online version of Be a Pro.
So my final question, because I don't know, the other people don't know, but I know. How'd you guys finish? Because Ethan was representing the Maritimes in some giant LG tournament. There was like the Maritimes, Central Canada, Western Canada, and what was the other one? There's 4, because there's 4 for Canada and there's 4 for America, right?
Yep.
Yeah, so
Maritime, Team East, Team Central, Team West.
Yeah, and
Canada.
So Ethan is, he's that good. He's probably, in my opinion, best player in the tournament. But he was representing the Maritimes for us there on the first line, or the first team. They kind of had it. He explained it to me one day. They have a bunch of different lines, and each line has to play a certain game. And you said it's a 7-game series, right?
Yep. After the prelims.
So how'd you guys finish? Did you end up pulling out the first round there? Or?
We had to make it past first round, but
You what, sorry?
Unfortunately. We made it on the first round, but second round, unfortunately, to Canada West. So.
Well, I just wanted to the Maritimes' credit. They were the worst team coming out of the round robin and somehow took out the top seed. So we'll take that out here in the Maritimes. We take our victories where we can get them.
Yeah, good work.
Yeah. So we'll get on here. We'll start talking what we're gonna get into. So we got a lot of stuff here for the end of the show. So this is gonna be our last episode on our predictions. So we're just gonna fly through these because actual preseason hockey and a couple pieces of interesting news that came out. But what we're gonna start with today is we're gonna go through the signings that we didn't really get to talk about last week because they kind of happened like the day after. So, you're gonna see Rasmus Dahlin, 3 years, $18 million, $6 million per. What do you guys think?
That's a great deal.
Yeah, solid contract.
Honestly, for me, I still think that's overpaid. Like, I don't think we've seen enough from Dahlin for him to be earning $6 million. But
I think Rasmus Dahlin, under a new coach, he will show you why he's worth $6 million.
I hope so. I am rooting for this guy.
You say he hasn't been doing that well. First, 44 points in his first season, 40 points in 59 games the second season, 23 points in 6 games this season on Buffalo Sabres.
But it's not me worrying about his offense. If you ever watched, probably a no to this question, but you ever watch a Buffalo Sabres game? This guy's terrible in his own zone.
No.
I've seen one.
I don't think the system he's working on.
I know, but I'm just
working under. I don't think it was exactly his.
In the past,
he is an offensive defenseman.
Yeah, I know. But in the past 3 years, I've seen no improvement from his game in his own zone, which is kind of scary. I mean, if
again, I think that's coaching.
Okay, fair enough. But right now, I see him as a one-dimensional defenseman who I guess, at $6 million is probably pretty good. But I don't know, on a team like Buffalo where you need everything, I'm not going to say it's a bad signing, but it just seems like you could have gotten for less. I don't know. But
yeah, maybe, but I mean, if I'm Buffalo, I'm not taking a chance on him.
So
probably the best asset.
I didn't know this guy's name was Calvin. I thought he was just called Cal, but Cal Peterson. Yep. 3 years, 15 mil, 5 per. It's a pretty good extension, but I don't know if we've seen enough of it. Like, they must really, really see something in this guy this year. Because if he comes out and plays bad, that's going to look really fucking bad. Like, that's a Mikko Koskinen signing, almost, to me. Like, I'm hoping he's going to... Yeah?
Go ahead.
I was going to say, I'm hoping that he's going to do better, is all I was going to say.
Yeah. I mean, I think he will do better. I mean, he's still very young. He's only 26. Pretty young for a goaltender. Plus, I mean, looking to the future now, I think he is the starter for the LA Kings.
I think so.
So it'll be interesting to see what he can do in that position.
I don't disagree with the fact that he's going to be the starter this year. It just seems like we haven't, for the sample size we've seen of that guy, $5 million seems steep. Like, I know that I thought the Dahlin contract was steep, but I think that one's, actually fucking steep. Because if he comes out and stinks this year, then you're locked into this guy for the next 3 years at $5 million. When you have a core that's probably getting ready to kick off a run. Like, I honestly think the Kings are maybe a year or two out of fucking making noise again. Oh, Ryan's lagging here. I think we might have lost him. Well, when he gets back in here, we'll continue talking about that because I'm curious to see what he thinks of Sami Niku. But Ethan, what do you think of the Peterson contract?
Personally, I think it's not a bad contract. I mean, he played well last year, considering he was on LA, and LA played poorly last season. He got to LA in a lot of those games, and I do agree with $5 million being a little steep, and there's always that what if. If he has a bad year, he could, it could not look like a great signing, but if he has a good year, that could be a great signing. So, I guess it's more of a let's see how the season goes.
Yeah. Ryan, you are back, by the way. I can see you moving.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, no, all of a sudden we completely lost you when you were talking, and I'm like, well, I'm going to throw the floor to Ethan here. What do you think?
Yeah. I don't know. It was weird because I could hear you the entire time.
Fair enough. Yeah, no.
Why
wow. We've kind of talked that one quite a bit. What do you think of the Sami Niku signing?
Yeah. Eh. I mean, he's 24 years old, has some NHL experience. He's not great in his own end, but like 750,000 for a year. What's the risk?
I mean, it seems like Winnipeg kind
we'll
of.
talk about it more once.
I was just gonna say, it seems like Winnipeg threw a free player away.
I think Sami Niku to them was the same thing that Victor Mete was. So it's just at a certain point you just kind of have to like it.
I know,
it's just not working out. There's no space for him on their roster.
It's just weird because on a team that seems like they need defense, for them to be throwing away players just seems, I don't know.
And well, the thing is, yeah, remember Sami Niku, not great in his own end. Like that's well, I was looking at the reactions of Winnipeg fans. They were like, "Oh well." I mean, he's not helping us at all. So, and we'll talk about it more once we get to the Habs roster, where he'll end up playing for us.
That's fair. Well, we'll get into the PTOs here. I mean, there's a lot of PTOs. We'll kind of go through some of the notable ones. I guess there's not really a lot. I mean, we already went through Golchenyuk here. I mean, I can read them all off. We'll talk about the important ones. Tobias Reeder is going to the Ducks. We have Artem Anisimov for Colorado. Bobby Ryan to Detroit. Not important. Frederick Gauthier to New Jersey. Jimmy Vesey to New Jersey. Eric Gustafson's going to the Islanders. Tyler Ennis to the Sens. Brian Boyle. I thought he retired. To the Penguins. Interesting. Michael Frolik to the Blues. James Neal to the Blues. Nikita Gusev to the Leafs. Ho-Sang to the Leafs. And Alex Chiasson to the Canucks. Not anyone really on this list that I see is going to make a giant impact wherever they land. It's a lot of guys who I see on here that probably will... I mean, they could make rosters. Like, Golchenyuk, we've kind of already talked about, but I think he can make roster somewhere. But what are you going to say?
I agree with Alex Galchenyuk probably. One person that was interesting, James Neal. Last couple of years have been pretty rough for him, but preseason game scored a hat trick, so I would be surprised to see St. Louis take a chance.
He also went on that tear in Edmonton when I said, yeah, he's going to score 50, and he had, like, what do you have, like 11 and 9 or something like that, and then he just tapered off and couldn't buy a fucking goal?
Yeah. It's hard to say where he'll end up.
He's weird.
Or Stuckey.
I mean...
And yeah, he's weird.
Tyler Ennis, he should make a roster somewhere. Kind of surprised it's a PTO. Like, he might make that Senators roster. I'll talk about the Leaf ones here for a second. So Ho-Sang took his PTO right at the beginning of the free agency period, so he had access to all the Leafs training facilities and their staff that entire time. So the Leafs have put a lot of eggs into this guy's basket, hoping that he's going to be able to step up and play on the team. He also came out, I think yesterday or the day before, and said he would take an ECHL contract to prove himself. So it seems like he really wants to get his shot in the league. He's a former, I think he was taken in the first round, wasn't he? Maybe he was the second. It was first or second round draft pick. First round. Kind of got bounced around. They said he was kind of a locker room cancer, but it seems like he's trying to work those things out because he does want to play in the NHL. So I think it could work. Nikita Gusev, I mean, if it works kind of thing. I don't expect big things from Gusev. I can't really see him getting an actual deal with the Leafs. Other than that, like, a lot of the other people on this list, they're almost not really worth talking about. I'm sure they'll end up on a roster somewhere this year at some point. Will they make an impact? No. So, that's kind of just like the...
I'm curious. Ethan, what are your thoughts on Alex Chiasson as PTO for the Canucks?
I mean, if he were to make the team, I think he'd be a great fit on the bottom six, especially if we move like Tanner Pearson or even throw him in on the fourth line. He's a strong forechecker. He's a good power forward type player. So I can't see anything bad if we do sign Alex Chiasson. So it's it's a yay for me if he's on the team, but it's not a big deal if he's not.
Like, and I mean, like, if you look at, I mean, if you look at everyone on this list, there are 3 players that were not signed last year to contracts. So, I mean, the one really confusing one to me is Brian Boyle, because I swear to God that guy retired. Like, I thought that there was
I thought he did too.
because I thought he had that whole thing in the island where he did his whole retirement thing and then he took off. Why? I'm not mad that he's back in the league if he's coming back. Good for that guy. But I'm just kind of surprised. But I mean, I don't really want to spend too much time on the PTOs. PTOs just a professional tryout. If it works, it works. They'll get a contract. If not, they'll fucking kick him down the road and they'll say good luck. Like it's kind of how it is. So we can get in. We can get in here to the Atlantic Division. This division is, it's kind of hard to pick what division is the strongest this year. I think this is the most top-heavy division. Just it's gonna be close and tight race the entire time. So we'll start off with the Sens here. I did the Senators lines, so I think Chuck's gonna take his I think it's an 8x6. So he'll take an $8 million deal over 6. I think the first line they're gonna try off with Tim Stutzel and Connor Brown. It's pretty good first line. I mean, they'd be able to contribute offense. I'm hoping Tim Stutzel can take another step this year, which they would want. Then I have Alex Formenton, I think it's how you pronounce that guy's name, and Drake Batherson playing with Colin White. It's a line that's kind of like they have a lot of young talent on this team, so some of it's going to step up. Like Batherson and Formenton, I'm pretty sure they're gonna play well. Colin White could probably get bounced around the lineup, and then they just kind of have solid depth pieces everywhere. There's not really many notables on their bottom 6, their bottom 6 lines. Then you go to the.
Actually, I do have one of Josh Norris. I'm kind of surprised you don't have him higher in the lineup.
I mean, I can see him moving around, right? There's still a lot of young talent on this team. I didn't.
Yeah, fair enough.
Like he's one of those players, right? 'Cause he's only listed as a center. I've got him on the wing right now. I mean, he could push. Like he could either push someone out of the center spot, or he could just play wing. I'm not really sure what they're gonna do with him. He could end up on he could play in Colin White's spot. To be fair, it's just gonna be a matter of how they play coming out of the training camp here. So Thomas Chabot, great defenseman, hands down, playing with Nikita Zaitsev. Zaitsev not very good. When he was on the Leafs, he would literally just go to his own end, just try to spring these weird outlet passes that would always get picked off, and somehow end up with the Leafs in an odd man rush. Don't like this guy.
Yeah.
Another one of Dubas's contracts that he's so good at getting out of. Second line there. We have Michael Del Zotto and Eric Brandstrom. I think Brandstrom could probably push Zaitsev out of that one spot, but I think that Zaitsev needs to play with someone who's got some sense of defensive knowledge, so he can help him out a little bit. Then the bottom there, Nick Holden playing with Victor Mete. I mean, I think Mete will get another shot. I think in Ottawa he will get a chance on that bottom line. And then their starting goalie is Matt Murray. I mean, the guy won 2 Stanley Cups with the Pens there. One where he was the starter.
Yep.
So,
just start for both.
Yeah, I think that Matt Murray. I'm not gonna say he's it definitely helped that he was on that team to win that cup, but he was a solid goaltender there, and I think this year, this team should take another step forward, and they'll probably push for the playoffs. I don't know if they'll get it because our division's nuts, but they're gonna scare some teams this year. Yeah. They're not gonna go down easy. They're gonna put up a fight. They've got a dog on their team. They got Brady Tkachuk. He's gonna get after people. From puck drop to when they leave the ice, this guy's going to be in your ear the whole game, and it's gonna annoy the shit out of you, and that's why he's getting paid that money.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's not really much else to say here for the Sens. I don't know if you guys get anything or.
No.
I was gonna bring up Josh Norris, but Ryan did as well, so.
I mean, if you to it. Yeah, fair enough. Let me just find the old Leafs lines here. There. Perfect. So, my projection for the Leafs for their lines this year, I really hope they load the first line. They have to. At this point, we have enough players who can play on that second line with Tavares and be solid that they just do this. I don't know why they don't. You have two guys who can score over 30 goals, like in Nylander and Matthews. Matthews will probably win the Rocket again this year, playing with the best passer in my eyes in the entire league, a little overpaid, Mitch Marner. But, you know, it's just like that. You got to do this. This is the year where the Leafs, it's their make or break. You're either going, if you don't make the playoffs or don't get out of the fucking first round this year, they're blowing it up. Dubas is going to be fired and shit's going to change. Morgan Riley's not going to be there next year. They're going to make moves. So then on the second line, I think everyone hates on Kerfoot and they're like, we're going to trade Kerfoot, all this other stuff. I don't hate Kerfoot. I think Kerfoot has been asked to do way more than he's supposed to do, and they expect way too much from this guy. You're expecting a guy who's paid $3.5 million who could play center on most second lines in the league to be excellent on the penalty kill, be excellent on the power play, and just be able to do everything that you want a guy for $3.5 million to do in a third line role. But he's not a third line guy, he's a top 6 player. So I think he'll make the top 6 for the Leafs this year. And Andre Kase, guy's kind of got a little bit of an injury history following him, but he was cleared to play this in the preseason and has played, and he's played pretty okay. Like, the lines in the Leafs this year on the offense could get changed drastically because they're going to have to figure out what works on that second line because you're not going to have you don't have Zach Hyman anymore. So your left side is going to be weaker this year, but that's why I also see Nylander getting pushed up to that first line. So then on the third line, we have Nick Ritchie, new signing. David Kump, another new signing, playing with Mikheyev. Now, David Kump is the third line guy that the Leafs want, that the fans want. He's a guy who you can put out there on the penalty kill, you can put out there to kill minutes, he'll eat minutes, and he'll be solid. He's great on the penalty kill, he's a great face-off guy, he's the third line guy that you need. Playing with Nick Ritchie, a guy who played on Boston, knows what it takes to win, he knows what it takes to get out of the first round. The Leafs need more guys like this. And I think it's going to really help. He's kind of, I'm not going to say he's like Zach Hyman, but I feel like he's going to maybe fill some of that physicality that Zach Hyman left behind. And he can score goals. Mikheyev, I don't really like Mikheyev, I'll be honest, but I need to put someone there on that line. So, you know, honestly, like, I know I have Robertson out of the lineup right now, but I don't think that's how it's going to really be when the season starts and puck drops. I honestly think he's going to get pushed up into the lineup. He might even end up on the second line. This team, like I said, they need to figure out how this is going to work. Because I could see Kerfoot getting moved to the other side, Kase getting pushed down the lineup, and Mikheyev being the guy that's sitting out. Because I think that Wayne Simmons will play over Mikheyev this year. So, and if everything goes well in training camp and Nick Robertson actually makes this team, I see him playing on the second line with Tavares and Kerfoot. Kase gets pushed down to the third line playing with Comp and Ritchie. And then we see Wayne Simmons, Jason Spezza, and Bunting together. Because Jason Spezza is the best. How old is he now? He's turning 40 this year, 39, however old he is. He's the best old guy in this entire fucking team. The guy had, 30? He was on pace to have 60 points last year in a full year, which is stupid at his age.
Yeah.
It's a really, honestly, I always love the Leafs lineup. The Leafs lineup always looks good on paper.
Yeah, just terrible in game.
It's always that, that question, are they going to make it past the first round? I mean, at some point they got to, right?
The Leafs have the depth pieces this year to be able to do it on the forward court, and they have another prospect, SDA. I'm not going to try to pronounce his whole name. He's playing in the preseason this year. I could see him being up, and I could see the two extra guys the Leafs end up carrying. I mean, if an injury comes up, SDA is going to get into the lineup. And like I said, injuries do happen. It's just part of hockey, so it's nice to have guys, even to have Mikheyev and Enval sitting on the bench. I was really hoping they would trade Enval, but it doesn't seem like that's gonna happen. But on defense here, they're going to probably run the same defensive lines they ran last year, at least in the top 4. Morgan Riley, Justin Hall, Jake Muzzin, and TJ Brody. It just worked. It was solid last year. Yeah. Last year was the best defensive core I've seen the Leafs have ever in all my years of watching. And then I think Rasmus Sandin and Timothy Liljegren are going to get their shots this year. It's time. It's either Liljegren's a bust or he's going to step up. I read an article the other day stating that they were way ahead of where they thought they would be this year. So that to me is a good sign. They both have been playing in the preseason. And what's it called? Lions, when they do the suicide skate or whatever they call that thing, when they go line to line.
Suicides.
Yeah, Sandin was at the front of his group every time. Wasn't tired at all. Didn't even phase him. So I think he's finally got the stamina, because apparently last year they said he came in out of shape. They didn't call him fat like they called Kadri, but still they said he didn't have the stamina that they were looking for. So they'll carry Dermott. I don't like Dermott, I really don't. But in a situation where he has to get in, or they want to take Lily Grinner Sandino, I can see him getting put in because he would be the next guy up. And then our goalies this year, I love this tandem of Jack Campbell and Peter Mrazek. Like I'm in love with it. It's the best goaltending tandem I've seen the Leafs have ever. So, if the Leafs are going to win anything, get out of the goddamn first round. By God, please get out of the first round this year. This is going to be the lineup to do it. Like, we all know who the Leafs are in the regular season. They're an animal. They're a dog. They don't go down without a fight. They're going to lose stupid games this year because that's what happens. Like, we have an outdoor game against Buffalo. We're going to lose that game just because it's the Leafs. I already know. That shit just happens. But they're gonna score their goals. Like, they have the Rocket winner from last year, and Matthews hasn't played in the preseason yet, but he did take his first practice today, so things should be fine come the start of the year. So we'll get ahead of the Leafs here. We'll get on to Florida.
Right.
Just find the old Panthers lines. I'm not sure which one I assigned to y'all. I'm hoping you guys remember.
Pretty sure I did Panthers, didn't I?
I don't know.
I did.
Okay, cool. So if one of you would remember.
All right. So the Florida Panthers, we got Huberdeau, Barkov, Hornquist. Huberdeau probably gonna make Team Canada. Alex Barkov, one of the best centers in the league.
I mean, he'll make Team Finland.
Yeah, make Team Finland might be the first line center. Solid first line here. Expecting big things. If you told me Jonathan Huberdeau scored over 100 points, I'd believe you.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's bound to happen one of these years. But they have 2 Olympians on their first line. If the Leafs put Nylander in the first line, try having 3.
On the second line, you got Sam Bennett, Frank.
Sam
line.
Bennett.
Yeah. Sam Reinhart, great player. Did good, I think, last year until then they traded him. Sam Bennett signed a big contract with them this year. I believe it was this year he signed that contract.
Yeah, it was.
Looked great the end of last season after getting traded, but
the guy got dragged through the mud in Calgary. Like, it's kind of like Kerfoot with the
Yeah.
Leafs. They expected him to be something that he wasn't, and then when he got traded to Florida, they finally put him in the role where he could succeed.
Yeah.
And then we saw him succeed, and honestly, he looks great. I'm happy for him. I always root for players, so it's nice to see him finally step up.
Yep. Third line, you get Duclair, Verhey, Kari, all 3 great players. Not going to be 50-point scorers, but if they can score, 30 each, I would be pretty happy with that.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, not much to talk about except for Joe Thornton, Jumbo Joe Thornton. I left him on the lineup. I don't know if he'll make the lineup or not. I'm looking a little bit more preseason training camp to see maybe push his first spot in this lineup. If not, I don't know.
I think they're going to carry him on their roster. Now, Joe Thornton played for the Leafs all last year, and I can tell you from watching Joe Thornton out there on the ice, it is not a great look anymore. I thought he was going to retire. I really did. Last year, he was getting outpaced by guys. He looks big and slow, and he doesn't have that skill that he used to have. He's still got the leadership, though. Didn't help the Leafs get out of the first round last year, so I really thought he was going to retire. But decides to go to Florida, live in that nice warm weather. Pow, pow, buddy, chum, chum with Tom Brady. I don't know.
Yeah, old man goes to Florida.
That's what they all do.
But, I mean, that leadership, especially on this team, fairly young team, definitely need some guys to step up.
Yeah.
Looking at Barkov, Ekblad, Joe Thornton definitely help with that.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of Ekblad, let's look at defense. Aaron Ekblad, Mackenzie Weegar. This is going to be a scary first pairing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Aaron Ekblad had to deal with that injury last season.
Yeah, I
But
hope he stays healthy this year because I expect big things from
yeah.
Florida.
I'm expecting big things from Florida, especially expecting big things from Aaron Glad. Only played 35 games last year, but 22 points.
Oh,
And
yeah.
pairing with him with Mackenzie Weegar. Mackenzie Weegar, great young player. Definitely some expectations from him. Actually, I say he's young. He's 27.
Yeah.
But okay, fair enough. Still looked great last year. Brandon Montour, Marcus Nudivera, both solid second-pair defensemen. If you're looking for a second-pair defenseman, basically this is what you need to be kind of. This is kind of the benchmark, I'd say.
Mm-hmm.
Then depth, not much there. Noah Jolson as your 7th D-man. I'm excited to see if he can get a shot here. 2014 first-round pick for the Habs, or 2015 first-round pick for the Habs. Florida got him off waivers and, a few injuries in his career, but I think he's still got potential. I'm curious to see what they can do with him. And that takes us to goaltending. Spencer Knight's your starter.
Speaking of guys that I expect big things from.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Look. Yeah. Spencer Knight has 2 years left on his ELC, his entry-level contract. But what are they gonna do when his ELC is up and Bobrovsky's still got 3 years left and he's taking up $10 million of their cap? And Spencer Knight goes, I want to get paid. Like, are they just going to end up losing? Do they just lose Spencer Knight? Because that's... honestly, someone probably ends up offer sheeting him, and then they're going to be fucking hard stuck trying to get rid of Bobrovsky. Like...
Yeah. Here's the good news.
Mm-hmm.
The same year that his ELC is up, Patrick Hornquist's contract's done, and Radko Gudas, his contract is done. So you're freeing up another $7 million. Spencer Knight, good goaltender. I think after his ELC, maybe looks between $3 to $5 million.
But the other thing you're missing there is Barkov's contract's up at the end of this year.
Yes,
and Huberdeau's contract's up at the end of next year. So they're going to have to end up paying Huberdeau at the same time they're paying Spencer Knight, and they're going to end up having to increase Barkov's pay, which I assume is probably he's going to want $10 million, because that's just how the NHL works.
But you got to remember, both those guys are already making 5.9, so even if they want $10 million,
I know, but that's
another... It's still less, it's $8 million. Next season, Florida has $14 million in available cap. I'm to resign Huberdeau, Nudivara, Petrano, Akari. There are players that need to resign, but I think it's still doable.
I hope so, because I kind of like what Florida's been cooking up, and I think that this might be the year where they actually are able to maybe not make a run, but they'll definitely be involved in the playoff race.
Yeah, they'll play the playoff race.
So we can go to the Tampa Bay team here, our 2-time Stanley Cup champions. I think Ethan, you did this one. Ryan's crying right now. It looks like.
Oh
my God, this team is good.
I went with how they sort of went last year, and I think it's gonna fit in replacements. And so, anyways, I started the first line out with Alex Cole. In my opinion, the number 1 center, Braden Point, and Nikita Kucherov. Very deadly, very, very deadly line. You're putting a sniper, playmaker, and a strong power forward there in Alex Killorn. That's a great first line. One of the best first lines. And, oh, man. And you got Andre Palat, Anthony Chiarelli, and Steven Stamkos. That right there is going to be one of the best top 6, even after winning back-to-back Stanley Cups.
Yeah, no.
They still have a top 6 that is one of the best.
And the thing is with this team is, I thought, they were going to end up being like Chicago, where they ended up having to tear everything down and still win cups. But no. All the guys other than Andre Palat and Braden Point, I suppose, but he has an extension, are signed past this year. So, we're fucked. Like,
And ready for another deep run for Tampa Bay.
well, even their fucking bottom six,
Right.
man. Like Patrick Maroon, Pierre, Pete,
Exactly.
like Belmar, Corey Perry. Like, Jesus Christ, man.
Yeah, so, third line, you got Matthew Joseph, who's up and coming player. He played great last year for Tampa Bay. Colton Ross, who I'm sure Ryan knows who Colton Ross is.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah.
Corey Perry. That
Yeah.
one's gonna sting a bit, Ryan.
It does. But you know,
How does this team lose Danny Gord? Who else? There's another guy. I'm pretty sure. Oh no, that was
Johnson.
Yeah, Tyler Johnson. And didn't they lose Blake Coleman, or was that before last year?
Yeah, Blake Coleman. Didn't they also lose? Who did they lose in the expansion games?
Yanni Gord.
Yeah, Yanni Gord.
Who did they lose to New York?
I don't think
Was
they
it Barkley?
lost. Oh, Barclays Goudreau. Yeah, Barclays Goudreau. So they lost Barclays Goudreau, Blake Coleman, Yanni Gord, and Tyler Johnson, and their roster still looks like this.
Yep, it's. If anything, this team just looks more streamlined.
Like, literally the only weakness I see on this team is on the right side of the D. And honestly, Sergachev could probably move over and play the right side if they need to.
Yeah, he could. I think
Like,
he was in the playoffs last year.
I hate this team. Like, I hate this fucking team.
It's ridiculous. I got Big Rig, Patrick Maroon playing with, I believe this is his first year, Alex Barry-Boulet. I could be wrong, but I think it's his first year.
Yeah, I think so as well.
And of course, Pierre-Edouard Bellemare, who's a strong veteran. Defense, you're looking at top end left-handed defenseman Victor Hedman and Eric Chernak. These guys played remarkable together. Tampa Bay chose to protect Chernak because they know how well how he plays with Hedman.
Yep.
Second line, like Ryan said, you could see Sergachev going back up to the second line right instead of Jan Ruda. For this though, I did put Jan Ruda over Ryan McDonough. Over Mikhail Sergachev. Sole purpose of, I guess, spreading it out a little more, because I think this team is very roll all four lines, and I think a lot of these defensemen are going to get pretty equal ice time.
Yeah, that's probably.
You can obviously see the first pair getting a little more.
Yeah.
Second and third pair are pretty equal in.
Yeah.
And if one of those guys get injured, you got a solid defensive defenseman in Zach Bogosian.
Fuck that guy.
And goaltenders, my opinion, the best goalie in the league, Andrei Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
You can't go wrong with having one of the best and having one of the best goaltenders. So
Yeah,
Brian
and I mean
Elliott there as well to back up.
Yeah, Brian Elliott especially.
Well,
I think a big upgrade on Kurtzman McElhinney.
Hey! No McElhinney slander on this podcast, okay?
It's not a McElhinney slander. It's just looking at their team in the playoffs last year. Their biggest weakness was backup goaltending.
Yeah, the thing is,
that was their biggest weakness.
Yeah, and now their biggest weakness is gonna be the right side. But Zach
It's not much.
Zach Bogosian, Leafs go, hey, we'll give you $1.5 million to stay. He's like, no, fuck you guys. I'm going to win another Stanley Cup in Tampa. Bye. He has a no trade clause on his fucking contract. Like,
he won a cup.
He took league men to win another cup, and somehow
won one cup.
No, he won a cup with Tampa the year before he came to the Leafs.
Oh yeah, no, he did. Okay,
yeah.
Never mind. My bad.
Yeah, he wants to win his second cup on Tampa, and somehow worked into his contract to get a no fucking trade clause. Wow, I hate this team.
Here's a 21 It is a 21 team no trade clause at 5.
And the thing is, right, I know I've said this in every other division, and this kills me to say it because I'm a Leafs fan. This is Tampa's division to lose. They've won the cup the past 2 years in a row. I have no argument to that. Like they're fucking really good, and they're going to be really good again this year.
It is. I will note, losing guys like Tyler Johnson, Goudreau,
Yanni Gord.
Yanni Gord, like losing those depth pieces, I think it will hurt them more than we think. Because yes, they still have decent depth here, but like
I
you
think
just lost a bunch of players that could be top 6 players in other teams.
Yeah,
and who are going to play top 6 players in other teams.
And I think it's going to hurt them. But the problem is, they didn't really lose anyone in the defensive core, and they still have Vasilevsky backing them up. And we all know that offense will win you games, because I'm a Leafs fan, and defense will build you championships, and this team has won the fucking Stanley Cup the past 2 years in a row. Like, our division is going to be tight, and it's going to be tough, and I think the Leafs and Tampa are going to battle it out for the top of this division.
Yeah.
But it's Tampa's division. If the Leafs win this division, I will be fucking shocked. Put it like that. And I think the Leafs have a amazing team this year. So we'll get on to Tampa here, to the least interesting team in this entire division, and let me make it clear, we have the division that has the fucking Red Wings, the Buffalo Sabres. I think did I do this team? Or did I assign this?
I did.
Yeah, I did the Red Wings.
You gave this one to me.
Yeah, I did the Red Wings. Go ahead, Ryan.
It's the Sabres.
Talk about
Olsen and Middlestat.
Yeah.
Look okay. Middlestat, Olsen, pretty good.
Yeah.
Dylan Cousins, nice young player.
Mm-hmm.
Rasmus Podolny, good young player. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, good goaltending. Legitimately a solid goaltending.
Like, you want to know what the thing about the Sabres that I always... I know. I see this every year with the Sabres, though, right? They have decent players. They do. Like, I think Anders Bjork's going to play on the second line. I think it may have been sleeping on him a little bit. But, especially... I know. I'm just saying, because it's Buffalo. Like, the center depth on this team should be fine. Like, I like Middlestat and I like Cousins. And then Cody Eakins and Gergensen. I mean, that's pretty good. And, like, they have decent pieces on the defensive core here. Yokoharu, Will Butcher, Dahlin. Like, I know that I gave Dahlin shit earlier, but go ahead. Well,
their defense is better than I thought it was. I will grant them that. They have better defensemen than I thought.
But it's not going to help them at all.
The problem is, they scored 37 points in the regular season last year.
Mm-hmm.
They then got rid of Sam Reinhart. They then got rid of Taylor Hall, Rasmus Ristolainen, Linus Allmark, Jack Eichel's not playing. You just lost 5 of your best players.
Yeah. Honestly, since we're on Buffalo, let's talk about this now.
They're going to be worse.
Yeah, they are. Since we're on Buffalo, let's talk about this now. Jack Eichel lost his captaincy because
he did.
He doesn't want to play there. Like, and I don't understand what they're doing, because the longer they put off him being able to do this surgery, because, like, the thing in the CBA that I don't know a lot of people understand is these guys make a lot of money. They have no control over their bodies. They get hurt, it's not their decision. Jack Eichel's been wanting to get this surgery for, like, 3 months now, and they're like, no. He's like, every day, he's like, I want this surgery, but in the CBA, his owners and his team and management can just go, no, you're not doing it.
Yeah.
They're tanking his fucking value. You are not good at asset management. They lost Taylor Hall for a second. And at this rate, they're going to lose Eichel for maybe not even a first. Like, what are they doing? I don't understand. Like, Buffalo is shit from top to bottom. Management, ownership, everything. And the thing is, I'm a Bills fan. It's the same ownership. Like, I have the Bills thing right there. It's the same ownership. The Pagulas. But for some reason, Brandon Beane, the GM of the Bills, and Sean McDermott have looked at the Pagulas and said, fuck you guys. We're doing what we want. Stay the fuck out of our management. But the Sabres, they run everything, and they're fucking it up completely. You have a generational talent on your team, and you're going to lose him for nothing. Nothing! And you just lost Sam Reinhart. Like, what are you fucking doing? Like, I don't understand this team.
Alright. There's nothing to understand. This team was the worst team in the league last year. First overall pick. They are my pick to get Shane Wright. and it's
But they
not
don't.
gonna
But they
happen.
don't even need Shane Wright. Like that's the problem.
No, they don't.
Like
It's not gonna help them. And
no.
there's no help. I don't see. If I'm a Buffalo fan, I don't see any hope.
This is where coaches go to die. This is where players go to die. Jeff Skinner scored 40 goals, and then he goes, "Okay, I'm signing $9 million in Buffalo." He had like 10 goals the next year. Like, I bet you I will bet you if someone was not dumb enough, but if someone took Skinner's contract, like just took Skinner, I bet you he'd score 20 again at least. It's because he's on fucking Buffalo. Taylor Hall couldn't score goals there for fuck's sakes, and then he goes to Boston and starts doing shit again. Like, it's a terrible culture from top to bottom, man.
It is. It's enough talking about the worst team in the league.
I'm sorry. I
were
just
the worst last year. They're going to be worse this year.
I know, but I feel so bad for Jack Eichel, man. Like, someone, please. Someone take...
I feel bad for Eichel and every young player that's playing for this team.
Someone please help Eichel. Like, help him, please. He needs some kind of fucking assistance. So we'll get on here to another team that I hate. This division's full of teams that I hate. But Ryan agrees with me on this one that he hates his team too, so that makes me feel a little bit better.
Ethan, I have to assume you hate Boston as well, right? 2011?
Thank you. They're in my top 3.
I had to assign this team to someone because I didn't want to fucking do it.
Yeah.
If I had done this team, Curtis Lazar would be on the first line, so...
Okay. Unbiased opinion. First of all, like Boston fans out there, I respect you. You know, you guys are hardcore, you guys are diehards, and you love to see it.
Can I just pause you for a minute? I just want to take a second to say fuck you to all Bruins fans. I don't fucking care. I hate this fucking team so much.
I don't like them either, but like, goddamn, we could be alienating people.
Dude, I hate
Ryan. Cheer for terrible.
They're so bad. The fans are worse than the fucking team. Okay, I'm sorry.
Well, yeah. But I guess I don't have the hate for that you guys do, even though they are our biggest rival. I hate the Boston Bruins. They haven't been an issue for us the last 2 years. Last 2 years.
Try losing to them in the first round fucking 4 times over 6 years, bro.
Huh? Ethan, how do you feel with the Bruins in the playoffs?
I hope, man, I really hope next fucking year, if Montreal makes the fucking playoffs, they have to play Boston in the first round, and they just get skunked. Just fucking absolutely skunked.
No. Won't happen.
Ethan, I'm sorry, go ahead. Fucking run us through this fucking team. I can't stand this. I can't stand this team. What?
Great top 6. You know, you got the elite David Pastrnak, one of the best 2-way forwards in the game, Patrice Bergeron, and player that everybody hates, Brad Marchand.
Such a nice guy.
Play it for the Moncton Wildcats. Shout out to the Wildcats, but fuck Brad Marchand.
Brad Marchand is a top player in this league. Like him, hate him, and
hate him.
He's gonna keep doing it. Thank you, Josh. He's gonna keep doing that to everybody. He thrives in the hate, and he plays his best when pressured. Taylor Hall, great addition to the team. Losing David Krejci was a really hard step for the Bruins, but they managed to still have Charlie Coyle, who was a very underrated centerman in my opinion. Craig Smith on the second line as well. You could see Craig Smith or Jake DeBrusk play that spot. I think they will keep Craig Smith there. They did in the playoffs. Third line, Jake DeBrusk, Eric Howla, Nick Foligno. Really solid third line here. It's a really strong third line with a touch of scoring. Jake DeBrusk being that goal scorer. Fourth line, you got Trent Frederick, Tomas Nosek, and Chris Wagner. Uh, it's a fourth line, you know. What more can you say about a fourth line? Strong fourth line for sure. Looking at your first pair defense in Charlie McAvoy and Matt Grizzly, I think that is a really strong top pairing defense. I think I think Charlie McAvoy is very underrated. And he's proven to be a top defenseman in this league. Brandon Carlin, Derek Forbert, I think they're both huge. I think they're going to be able to shut down.
They're huge.
Huge. I think they're going to be able to shut down really well. That's a Boston play. You know, Boston's always been known to shut down and play great. Jake Sporl, Mike Riley. You can see John Morgan there. And Mike Riley. But a great pickup for Boston Lions. Mark. Carrasco, UFA. So.
Yeah, no. The rumor is they're gonna run with Linus Ullmark, and then in February, when Tuukka Rask is ready to play, they're gonna be like, "Hey, here's $1 million. Come be our goalie." And I swear to God, I will fucking blow a gasket. I will fucking blow a gasket. There is no way this team is going to have Linus Ullmark and Tuukka Rask. I wanted Linus Ullmark, and I had Tuukka Rask at one point. I fucking hate this league. I hate this team. I can't.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Real quick. They gave Mike Riley $3 million?
Yeah. And you want to know why? Do you want to know how they were able to do that, Ryan? Because Brad Marchand, Bergeron, and fucking Pasternak all make under 7.
But why waste money on fucking Mike Riley?
Look, they have to spend it somewhere. Look, there's a lot of weird contracts on this team, but that's kind of the Boston way. And then they just somehow make it work. Love them or hate them.
Fine.
I hate them. They fucking make it work. We'll get we'll get on here to the Habs. Ryan's fucking favorite team.
Let's go.
I just want to say this.
Sure.
I just want to say Ryan so much likes this team that he sent in his lines to me last week and then texted me this morning and went, "Hey, can you change them?"
It wasn't even last week. It was like an hour before we started.
Well, so I did because I'm a nice guy.
Yeah,
but
I appreciate that. And in my defense, the reason I had to change them was last night the Habs played a preseason game against the Toronto Maple Leafs.
We'll talk about it. We'll talk about it. I'll show the play. I'll show the play.
Yeah. Yeah, I know. This lineup, this is maybe the most excited I've been for my entire life as a Habs fan. Tyler Foley, Nick Suzuki, Cole Caulfield. Worked in the playoff. I'm excited to see what they can do in a full season. Cole Caulfield, rookie. I'm trying to keep my expectations relatively low. Yeah. But I want to see him score 40 and win the cup. But not too high of an
expectation. You think he's gonna score 40? Holy shit!
Joke. It's
a joke. Say, damn, bro.
If he scores 20 goals, I will be excited.
Yeah, I'm about to say I think he's closer to 20, maybe 30, but 40. You're fucking smoking the devil's lettuce, buddy.
He does that. Nick Suzuki. Excited to see what he can do. Tyler Foley. One of the top goal scorers last season. I'm excited to see what he can do again this year.
Yeah,
he takes some of the defensive work off the two young guys.
He doesn't get to play. He doesn't get to play Vancouver 11 times this year to score his fucking 10% or fucking 30% of his goals again.
Okay. Oh, okay. Jonathan Drouin, Christian Dvorak, Josh Anderson. Wow. Last night they played together. Drouin's finally coming back after, unfortunately, having to deal with some anxiety and insomnia. Pairing I would not wish on my worst enemy. Glad to see he's back and playing.
Respect to Jonathan Drouin, and I just, mental health is tough, and it's glad to see him get back out on there in the ice. I root for players like that. As much as I hate the Habs, respect to Jonathan Drouin.
Yeah.
Like the dude. Not only did he come back, he explained to us why he was out, and that's honestly like it takes a big fucking person to be able to do that. So respect to him.
I'm glad he can, kind of be.
Well,
I
I
mean,
mean
the first players to come out and admit a problem. I'm glad he can.
Well, and
support.
Yeah, and I also just want to say, the Leafs and Habs market for media is the hardest in the league, and so he has to deal with that all the time, and it's fucking hard, man. Some people can deal with it, some people can't, and I just feel like we should be more, what's the word, not open, but just better at not bombarding these young guys with shit like that. Like, they need to be better. The media needs to be better, honestly.
Yeah.
So I'm glad he's back. I am.
Yeah, I'm glad he's back too. Not only just because I think I want to see him succeed in this league, but last night he's gonna. Like, these three guys worked phenomenally. Josh Anderson 2 goals. Dvorak had 1. Dvorak had 4 points. Duran had 2 assists. Anderson I think had 3 points as well, or 4 points maybe. I think it was 3. Very excited for this line to work for us. Our third line: Mike Hoffman, Jake Evans. Brendan Gallagher, one of the best 5v5 players in the league.
Was Jake Evans playing? Jake Evans was playing last night. He wasn't still strapped up in a hospital bed going. Ugh.
Dude, Jake Evans played in the playoffs after that hit.
I know. I just
not John Tavares. Jake Evans did have.
That's cold.
Played okay last night. Did have one back. We'll work past that. It's just preseason. Get used to it. Mike Hoffman though, and Brendan Gallagher, both previously 30 goal scorers. I'm excited to see what they can do.
Like, I'm not worried about Yell's forward core this year. It's your defense that's not the fucking.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But I do want to say one thing. Our plan right now, Don Sharm has confirmed that we were going to run 3 lines at about even minutes. So even though Brendan Gallagher is on third line, you'll probably be seeing him get about the same time. It's like Caulfield.
Just because the Habs, as much as like you're excited for this team, and I don't mean to shit on your team.
Yeah.
You guys just don't have, like, the Leafs have star names, Matthews, Nylander, Marner. Like, we have guys we put on the first line. Like, that is the that's the first line kind of thing. Which I'm not saying it's a little bit.
It's not that we just don't have like that. But even though I think Nick Suzuki will be that player, it's just also we have 6 high-end wingers.
You have, I'd say some of them are on the higher end. I'd say a lot of them are more mid-tier guys that can play on most teams, like mid-6. Like, it just hasn't been a lot of, like Josh Anderson and Drew are both second-line guys. Hoffman's a second-line guy. Gallagher's been pretty much a second-line guy for most of the past few years.
Gallagher's a first-line player on every team in this league.
No.
Yes.
No.
He should be.
No.
He has the work ethic and he has the ability to do it, though.
Chicago Blackhawks.
He is the best, if not best 5v5 player in the league.
DeBrincat, Kane, Taves. You're not moving anyone off that line, and he would not play on the first line of the Leafs if the line is fucking Nylander, Marner, Matthews. He's not cracking the first line on every team. I'll give you he does have the heart of a lion.
He's first line on most teams.
Yes, he has the heart of a lion. I'll give him that. Great work ethic, but doesn't automatically make you a first liner because you have great work ethic.
But he's not a second liner on most teams, Josh. Most teams he's first line easy.
Sorry, most top end playoff teams. Correction.
Yeah. First line.
Not on most of the top end teams, but sure.
I mean, we just made it sound like a final team as first line. Moving on to the fourth line, Lightning.
You gotta get there first, buddy.
You're right, Josh. You do. Good luck.
I'm guaranteed in the playoffs, y'all are gonna be fighting to probably even not make it in. But if you do make it in, I'll give you credit. You'll make noise.
Congratulations on making the first round, Josh. Lehkonen, Paling, Armia. Solid defensive line. Come in there, get some energy in. Armia, great puck defensively. Really holds on the puck. Lehkonen, great defensive player. Ryan Paling, I'm excited to see what he can do in a rookie year. I'm very excited for this forward core. On defense, we have Edmondson, Petrie. Yeah. Edmondson, Jeff Petrie was in the running for the Norris at the start of the year, kind of fell off. Still ended up with a few votes. Joel Edmondson was, for most of the year, led the league plus minus, so I'm very excited to see what they can do. Jeff Petrie's got that offensive end. Joel Edmondson can back end. Should work out. Second pair, we have Romanov, David Savard. Romanov has a solid year in his rookie year. I'm excited to see what he can do. David Savard can carry between the two of them. That's a pretty hard-hitting second pair on defense, so excited to see that. And then our third pair, Ben Sherratt, Chris Weidman. Ben Sherratt probably is our four or five defenseman, and then it'd be either Weidman, Gulak, or even Brendan Gooley. I think we will see Brendan Gooley get excited to see what he can do there. So, all in all, our defense, not top of the league, but I mean, we have some solid players, and I'm excited to see.
Your defense is the reason I'm going to tell you you're going to be struggling to make the playoffs, but your goaltending and forwards are the reason that you'll make noise when you get there, if you do get there. That's the
only... Bryce, Jake Allen, great goal.
But that's the reason y'all went so far last year. The problem is now you don't have Shea Weber, so you got to get there. Well, he ain't no Shea Weber. You'll agree with me on that.
He's better. The last few years, he's
better on the offensive side of the puck, maybe not better in his own fucking zone. So,
wasn't that much worse. There's a reason he's been running for the Norris last year. Shea Weber has.
You say running though. He's never near the top of the Norris votes. Like he's a far shot to the Norris this year. Like the offensive skill and defenseman now are just way too high. But if you guys make the playoffs, you'll make noise. But I don't see the Habs making the playoffs. You got to get there to be in the dance. The Leafs may not get out of the first round every year, but the Leafs have made the playoffs more in the past 5 years than the Habs have. And I do see this.
And we've won more playoff runs, so.
Okay, Mister, I pay $10.5 million to a goalie that plays a third of the year most of the time.
He was injured last year. Stupid.
He's injured every year. This is Carey Price we're talking about.
He's not injured every year.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta love the bickering. So, what's my Cox fans because we don't know what playoffs are.
Yeah,
and for the record, Josh played 25 games last year, which is half the year. Year before he played 58. Year before he played 66.
Ryan, you want to just read me off his goals against and save percentage real quick from those years?
Last year was 901. Year for 918. In the playoffs?
No. I don't give a fuck about the playoffs. I don't give a fuck about the playoffs. Tell me his regular season stats.
Pretty standard saying not caring about the playoffs. I mean, like his numbers haven't been. His numbers could be better. I mean, he's not the player he was 6 years ago. I grant you that.
That's why I'm telling you.
When it matters, Carey Price shows up.
You gotta be there to make the dance. But anyways, let's just get on to the Red Wings so we can keep talking in circles on this shit all day. I did the Red Wings here.
If you don't know how to dance, then...
What?
You can get to the dance all you like, but you don't know how to dance.
Look, man. I'm pretty sure the Leafs play all game one against. We'll get the show. Ooh. And Jacob Arana playing with Dylan Larkin and Nemestikov. I mean, it's pretty good first line. I mean, this is the second worst team in the division. I don't really expect a lot. Philip Zadina playing with Joe Villano and Tyler Bertuzzi. Bertuzzi actually is unvaccinated, and he is set to lose $450K off of his paycheck this year in total because of his unvaccination, and he's also set to miss games because I think that if he's unvaccinated, there's like something that came out that the players might not be able to play in Canada, so he's going to lose money off of that.
Yeah, the plan is Tyler Bertuzzi won't be playing games in Canada, and that's why he's losing money.
That's why he's going to lose his money. Robbie Fabry playing with Puss Sutter. I don't know a lot about that guy, but he's making $3.2 million. Adam Ernie, and then... what?
Sorry, Puisier.
Wow.
Played really well in Chicago this season.
Okay.
Really solid pickup for Detroit, in my opinion.
So then they have Giovanni Smith playing with Sam Gagner and Michael Rasmussen. That would be Rasmussen. I don't fucking know. It's the Red Wings, man. Like, they're not going to be good this year. Like, we might see them improve because they do have young players who are probably going to step up, but I still think this team is a few years out. Defensively, we have Nick Leddy playing with Philip Hornack, Danny DeKaiser playing with Troy Stetcher, and Mark Stahl playing with Gustav Lindstrom. It's not great, there's a lot of players on this team that I'd like to see on other teams, but it is what it is. I still think this team is a rebuilding team, and I kind of feel bad for Dylan Larkin because he's kind of trapped in this hellhole that's been the Red Wings past few years.
I mean, yeah, last few years.
But they do have goaltending. Thomas Greiss and Alex Nedeljkovic, those are two solid goaltenders in the NHL. So I still think this team is going to be able to... What? You're looking weird, Ryan. I see you over there.
I'm just noticing now, you don't have Moritz Seider on defense.
Yeah, I don't know. He's one of those guys where he could make it, but I'm pretty sure isn't he still on loan to his team in Germany?
He is, but I mean,
if he's
he can come back.
Yeah, he can, but the season has to end if he's on loan. That's the only reason I didn't have him in the lineup right now.
Okay.
So honestly, I can see this team stealing games just solely based off of their goaltending. Like, they're probably, I still am shocked that Carolina goes, yeah, we're not going to pay Nedeljkovic $3 million, but we'll pay Anderson $6 million. What? You're telling me you could have had Jelkovic for $3 million and you went, no, fuck that guy. Get him out of here. I don't understand the Hurricanes sometimes, but yeah, this team should steal games this year, but that's about it to say for the Red Wings. We can get in here to who we think's gonna make the playoffs for all of us here in the old Western Conference, and then we'll do the East, and then we'll show our projections for the playoff awards this year. So, do you guys care who starts off here for the West thing, or do you just want me to go first, and then we'll go through that way, or?
Yeah, go first. Go ahead.
Okay, so my picks in the Central. I'm giving it to the Colorado Avalanche, the Winnipeg Jets, and the Chicago Blackhawks. They're going to be 1, 2, 3 in that division. In the Pacific Division, I'm going to go Vegas, Edmonton, and it's tough after that. I mean, fuck it. I'm saying Kings. I'm saying Vegas, Edmonton, Kings. My two wildcard teams are going to be... Let's go with the Blues in Nashville. That's how I see that breaking down. Ethan, what do you got?
I went with for the Central. Hold on, I had it up.
I just blew past
here
it
for a second.
I have it up on my. Yeah, you send it to me over Discord, and you can pull up your screen there if you want. Oh no, I don't think you did. Ryan did.
Yeah. Okay. Edmonton, Vancouver, and for the Central, I had Colorado taking number 1, St. Louis taking number 2, the Jets taking number 3. The Stars taking number 4, and Chicago taking number 5.
Okay, so the two wildcard teams you think of this are going to be Dallas and Chicago.
Yes.
Also, you cut it on the first team in the Pacific Division, but I think we both can guess that it was Vegas.
Yes.
Okay. Ryan, you sent yours to me, but I'm assuming you have it in front of you if you want to just write yours off.
Here, let me put it front center so I'm looking at the camera. In the West, I have Vegas, Vancouver, Edmonton. In the Pacific, I think Vancouver bounces back, assuming, of course, they re-sign Henderson Hughes.
Missing days of training camp, boys. Missing days of training camp.
Please, Jim Benning. Please. Please.
I believe. Yeah. I believe. In the Central, I've got Colorado, Winnipeg, Dallas making divisional spots. So that's Colorado, Winnipeg, and Dallas. Okay. I think they make a straight in division. And as for wildcard spots, you guys both had St. Louis pretty high. I don't think they make it. I'm looking at Minnesota and Chicago.
Fair enough.
You know,
I'm curious to see. I'm really curious to see how the West's gonna break down, honestly. But yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, it should be.
So we'll go here to the East. I'm gonna give my Atlantic first because honestly, the Metro I'm still kind of tossing in my head right now. But I'll go with the Tampa Bay, the Leafs, Florida, and Boston. I think are the four. I'm gonna give them 4 slots off the start here. And then I'll give out my maybe wild card team. I don't know, because I that division is just, it's tight. But in the Metro, I'm gonna go with the Islanders, Hurricanes, and Penguins, and I'm gonna say that the Washington Capitals, the Flyers, and the Habs all fight it out for that last wild card spot. I don't know which one of those teams is gonna be, but I have a feeling it's gonna be one of them.
Okay.
So my 8 teams there, I'll list them off again: Tampa, Toronto, Florida, Boston, the Islanders, Hurricanes, Penguins, and then the last spot's going to be between the Flyers, Capitals, and the Habs.
All right.
Ethan, what are you thinking?
So for the Metro, Islanders, the Hurricanes, the Penguins, and the Flyers
Okay.
in the top 4. Well, going over to the
We're
first, I have the Florida.
we're losing you a bit here, Ethan. Just wait a second. You're cutting out hard there. I didn't get any of the teams from the Atlantic. I get your Metro teams, but I didn't hear the Atlantic. I don't know, Ryan, is he cutting out for just me, or is he cutting out for you too?
It was cutting out for me, but I think you might be good.
Okay, I think you're good.
Is it better?
Yeah, you're good.
Yeah.
Okay. Tampa Bay taking first in the Atlantic. Florida taking second. Toronto taking third. And Boston taking fourth.
Okay. I think he was still cutting out a little bit there, but I'll just read it off. He said Tampa, then Florida, then Toronto, and then Boston, leaving out the Habs.
Yeah.
All right. Fine. I'll say what it is.
You want to go ahead?
Those teams. All right. Yeah. In divisional spots, I have Tampa, Florida, Toronto. In the Atlantic, in the Metro, I have Carolina, Islanders, and Philly. In the division, and in the wildcard spot, in my mind, there's 5 teams I'll be fighting out.
Yeah.
It'll be Boston, Montreal, the Rangers, Penguins, and the Capitals will all be fighting for those 2 spots. And I think it'll be Montreal Canadiens and the Washington Capitals. And those 2 guys are the reason why. Those 2 guys.
Yeah.
Carey Price and Alex Ovechkin.
I have to wait and see, but I don't think it's a bad take there. Who do you guys think's gonna win the cup, real quick? One pick. Everyone, give me who they think.
Colorado.
Oh god. Yeah, Colorado.
Okay, I'm going Tampa Bay. Fuck that team, they're gonna win it again. 3-peat. I'm saying it. So we'll get into our awards predictions here. I can just read these off real quick, and then we'll get into the what we got from the actual hockey standpoint. But we're starting off here with the Hart projections.
Oh no.
I have Connor McDavid winning the Hart. Ryan has Connor McDavid
so
winning the Hart. Ethan took Nikolai Ehlers. Respect to him. You know what? He went
Why?
against, because he went against the grain. Respect him. Yeah, you can defend yourself.
Can I? Okay. So for these awards, I went with a hot take here. Okay.
Yeah.
I chose Nikolai Ehlers. I think Connor McDavid is most likely gonna win it, but I can see Nikolai Ehlers winning it too. He had a great end to the season last year. In the playoffs, he played spectacular.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's a huge part of the reason why the Jets are a playoff team this year.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
that's smart.
I like Nick Ehlers. Great guy.
You just don't see it.
Career high 64 points.
I think he'll get it. Yeah. Let us. We all have some wild takes on the awards. I know I do. So we'll jump ahead here to the Art Ross and the Rocket. My picks for that are Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews. Then it's Ethan's picks here. I don't know if you want me to read it off, or do you guys want to read yours off?
We can read it.
All right. So we got the Art Ross there with Connor McDavid, and then Ethan has picked 2 for the Rocket. He is picking Alex Ovechkin and Austin Matthews. One of those 2 guys will win it. Ryan's got the Art Ross being David, and the Rocket being definitely Alex Ovechkin. I think it's gonna be Matthews, but you know, it is what it is. On the Norris here,
Matthews is not a bad pick. No.
Norris, I'm the one that went against the grain. I picked Adam Fox, and the other 2 guys both picked Cale Makar. Solid pick. Yeah. I think it's going to be a fight this year. I think there's a lot of really great offensive defensemen in the league right now. Vezina, this is where I went off the boards with my pick. Soup for the Vezina. Soup for the Vezina.
Sure.
Love Soup went 19-2-2 last year in the regular season. Could happen. Ethan picked
Homer.
Ethan picked Connor Hellebuck, and Ryan picked Andrei Vasilevsky.
Yeah.
It's 3 solid picks, you know. I think any of them could win the Vezina. So then for the Calder, again, I went against the grain. Nick Robertson, if he plays this year, I think he's going to contend for it because he's going to get his top 6 minutes and he's going to get his time, and he has a little bit of experience in the NHL already. The other 2 guys picked Cole Caulfield. Solid pick. I mean, the guy could win it. I mean, it's gonna be a fight this year between a lot of rookies, so should be interesting to see how it goes. So then we'll get in here to talking about this. So it was picture day last week in the NHL. I don't know if you guys knew that or not. So we see Kapanen decided to do what Tanev did and look like he saw a fucking ghost. I don't know why he looked so stunned, but he looked stunned, man. Like, did Tanev ever explain why he did that?
No, he said there might have been a ghost.
Well, Tanev one-upped himself because he must be seeing ghosts again. Look at this guy.
This one was on purpose.
Oh, it was. But look at this guy. Like, I love Cat. Like, I'm gonna go back. I love Kapanen's face in this, but I love Tanev's face in this one. Like, just looks fucking stupid, man. But you know, the NHL, this shows the NHL's coming back, man. We're gearing up for the regular season. Preseason just ended. Everyone got their pictures taken. This was the funniest photo, obviously, from last week. It was all over Twitter. But I
thought Kapanen was funnier, but alright.
Yeah, Kapanen's was funny, just because of the story, but then when I saw Tanev did it again, I was like, that's pretty good. So, we got our first look at the Kraken jerseys. Those look sick. Those look, I love those, man.
Yeah. No.
No, you don't like them?
I love them. I thought the red might pop a little bit more, and I liked if they did, but like, god damn, those are nice jerseys.
I know that the people who are listening to us on Spotify and are not watching us on YouTube or anywhere else can't see it, but we have a photo of them on screen right now.
If you're listening to us on Spotify, check out our YouTube channel.
This is true. Also, follow us on Twitter at OTB Hockey Pod. So, the Kraken jerseys there. And then we saw the Kraken play their first preseason game. And they didn't post their lines, but they did post their first line, which is Jaden Swartz, Jared McCann, Everly, Giordano, Alexiak, and the goalie is Phil Grubauer. Mm-hmm. Honestly, I could see this being their first line, like when the season starts, until Yanni Gord comes in, and then Yanni Gord will take over that spot. Their first preseason game, though, went pretty good for them. We saw that they ended up, we'll show it in a second, but the Vancouver lines here, we saw Hoglander, our first look at him this year, Brock Besser. I mean, Ethan, do you see anyone on? Like, you said you didn't catch the first game, right?
No.
Well, I have a highlight for you, but first I want to show this. We'll show Seattle's first ever goal, scored by Riley Shahan here. The puck gets sent out in front. Kind of a little greasy goal that they dug for, but you know what? It's got to start somewhere. And then Ethan didn't get to see the game, but we have this nasty goal here by Hoglander. Just a beautiful tip out in front of the net. Shot comes in from the point. Bang! Right there in between the 5-hole Grubauer there. Just a nice place shot. I mean, that's what you got to do. The guy could be... I mean, Ethan said he's probably going to compete for top 6 minutes this year, so I'd love to see that. So, unfortunately, Vancouver did end up losing this game 5-3, so the Kraken do get their first ever win. I know it's just preseason, but it is what it is. You know, it's nice to see them. Fun fact.
Seattle and Vegas both won their first game against Vancouver.
I love this. Hilarious. Sorry, Ethan, but that's funny.
Yeah.
So then Vancouver played Calgary last night, and so they didn't post their lines, but we did get the roster. So Ethan, we got our first look here at Tucker Coleman, Connor Garland, JT Miller, OEL, Alex Shea signed into the lineup last night, Bo Horvat. Like, this seems like your guys' like team A, honestly. I don't like it. There seems to be a lot of guys on this roster that are going to start for you guys this year. Would I be wrong in saying that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
And we saw Podson got it. How do you pronounce that guy's name? Podcolson?
Podcolson.
Podcolson. Yeah. We got our first look at him. I didn't get any highlights from last night's game, but we did see Calgary's lineups here. I mean, Calgary wasn't playing their best players, but they were playing Jakob Peltier. Shout out Moncton Wildcats again.
Moncton.
Yep, and they didn't play that many of their starters, and it kind of showed. Final score here: Vancouver pulled it out with the better team. They won 4-2, and yeah, I mean, it's been we've seen quite a bit from Vancouver. I mean, the preseason is always sloppy. Like, I've watched a lot of the highlights so far, and it seems like a lot of teams are giving up odd man rushes and breakaways, which kind of looks kind of shitty, but it is what it is, really. So we'll go ahead here to the other game that me and Ryan care about. The Leafs versus the Habs for the first preseason game. We saw the Leafs just run it. They put a lot of players out there. Bunting, Tavares, and Hosang. Mikheyev was playing with Kerfoot and Nylander. Robertson cracked this lineup. There's SDA, the dirt. I don't know how to pronounce that guy's name, but he's playing fourth line minutes there. We saw Liljegren and Sandin both play, and we saw Hutchinson at the start. The Habs didn't post their lineup for this game, but we did see the Leafs pull out pretty big W here, 4-1, and it shows the Leafs put a lot of their best players on that lineup. The only guy that I really don't see is Mitch Marner. There's probably a couple other guys, but
yeah,
they really put the best foot forward in that game. Well, Matthews just took his first practice today, but yeah, I know what you mean.
Yeah, okay.
So this was the lineup from last night's game, where the Habs did their thing, but we saw Drew and Dvorak and Anderson playing together. I mean, that line really worked out well for them. It's going to work out well this year. Yeah, I can't see that not working. Also, I just want to say this because I saw this guy's name last night. How do you pronounce that? Pezzetta?
Pizzetta.
Pizzetta? Is he Italian?
Yeah.
I love that name.
I don't know, but he actually played really well last night.
I know.
I scored 2 goals.
Yeah, he scored the empty net goal, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no. I like seeing that. I like guys with funny names, so...
Yeah.
The Leafs, as you can see, they didn't put their best foot forward last night. This is definitely the B-er team. I mean, there's 3 defensemen on this team this lineup that I've never even fucking heard of. So, it is what it is. I'm just excited to watch hockey. And I don't know about you guys, but I fucking miss this sport so fucking much when the off-season hits.
Me too, man.
The Leafs, I have a couple highlights from the game last night. So this first highlight is going to be Mrazek absolutely stonewalling whoever the fuck that was.
It's Josh Anderson.
Yeah, just great. I mean, it's a great save, and I love seeing that because I expect big things from Mrazek and Campbell this year, so they need to do something
great save and stop the hat trick.
Oh, yeah. And we'll show the Habs clip here, which is Dvorak, Drouin, and Anderson just fucking... it speaks for itself. 1, 2, 3... Like, just... I hate saying it. It's a nice goal. Like, it looked really good. They made it work, and the Habs ended up pulling out the game last night 5-2 with an empty netter. Yep. That's all we got for the slides for today. But, man, I love preseason hockey. I love hockey in general, and I'm so glad that it's finally back, man. The leaves are turning colors. The fall's coming, winter's on the way. I don't know about you guys, I might sound crazy here, but I love the smell of fall. I'm assuming it's just the leaves outside, but you walk outside and you're just like, get that nice fall scent going, you know what I mean? But,
Absolutely. 100% agree, man.
I'm pretty sure that Ryan doesn't know what I mean, but I'm pretty sure by next week, I don't know when the preseason ends, but I'm assuming we'll be in regular season hockey next week, maybe?
Nope. Not next week. Next week's still preseason. First day, I believe, is October 13th.
Huh. Well, there's a couple other things that we're gonna just run over real quick because we're getting near the end here. So we saw our first suspension of the year because there was a guy on the Senators, kind of a guy I'd never heard of before. His name is Ridley Greig. He absolutely fed Pierre-Luc Dubois a cross-check right in his teeth. I'm surprised it was only 2 games because it looked pretty vicious. But he's out for 1 preseason game and 1 regular season game, so even if he goes and serves this one in the preseason, if they want to play him in the NHL in the regular season, which I don't think will happen, he will have to still serve that 1 regular season suspension.
There was also another suspension.
Really?
Yeah, Isaac McElrath was suspended, Dylan McElrath suspended. The Capitals defenseman was suspended for 2 preseason games and 2 regular games.
So, there's, we're going to talk about this more in the next episode, the COVID restrictions and stuff and the protocols the players are going through. But it does kind of seem weird with how some teams are doing this, because this is a Steve Dangle quote here from a Twitter post he made last week, but it says, "Glad to see NHL teams taking the brave stance of, if you're not vaccinated, then you can't attend training camp." And then in parentheses it says, "unless you've cracked 10 points a season," which definitely does feel like it is a true fact. Guys like Zach Ronaldo are being told not to show up, and then even guys like Nylander wasn't vaccinated. I think he might be now, but he was offered to attend training camp because, he wasn't an anti-vaxxer. He was just hesitant because apparently he has some allergy to something that could have been in there. I'm not really sure. But,
there were other guys like Kaprizov wasn't fully vaxxed because he had gotten the Russian vaccine that wasn't counted in America.
Sputnik? He had Sputnik. Yeah, that is interesting to me how many vaccines are floating around. But there's one more thing I think that we are going to address real quick is the Memorial Cup, the top championship for the CHL this year, is going to take place in St. John, New Brunswick. And I believe they still play in Harbor Station, so I think that would be where that would take place.
It was renamed actually.
Oh, wow, cool.
I think it's not TD Station.
Huh. Well, actually, I think you're right. I think it is the TD Station.
It is.
But this is happening in New Brunswick, which is not, in St. John, which is not very far away from us. And Ryan texted me when this came out, and he said, "Hey, you want to go see a game?" So I'm like, "Sure." So hopefully we get to see. So for those of you who don't know how the Memorial Cup works, it is the top team from the WHL, the OHL, and the QMJHL, and the host team. They all get to go and play in this round-robin tournament, and then you get playdowns for playoffs, and then you get right into the finals there. They win a trophy. But they have to go, they do their whole playoff run in their own league. They have to be they have to win that trophy, whatever it is in every other league. I can't really remember what the one in the Q is even called now. But then they get pushed on to this tournament. So if the Sea Dogs, I don't think they're gonna win the title this year in the Q, but if they do, then the second place team that lost in the finals against them would get to make it in as well with them. So honestly, what you see a lot of the times from the Memorial Cup teams is the host team actually goes out and gives those teams the most problems because they're normally not deep playoff run teams, and so then they get 3 weeks or 4 weeks to fucking just do hard ass training, and then they go in there and they give teams fits, which I love to see. So I think it's gonna be
Sea Dogs that do it, but
I think it's gonna be fun though. I mean, as much as I'm a Wildcats fan, I love good hockey and I like seeing the young guys, and who knows, we'll maybe see. Isn't Spencer Knight playing in the OHL this year? So maybe we'll see a little bit of Spencer. Not Spencer Knight. Sorry, no, not Spencer Knight. Shane Wright, the number 1 pick. Yeah, so maybe he'll win his league this year. We'll get to see some of him playing. That'd be nice. We all get together for some live clips at the Memorial Cup. That'd be fun. But I don't think that we really have anything else. We've addressed a lot. The last thing is Devin Taves, probably the second best defenseman on Colorado, isn't going to be able to start the year with them. I didn't really check what it is. I'm assuming it's an injury or something. It doesn't seem like it's COVID related, so I guess we'll probably cover it more next week if I get more information on it. But other than that, I think that's it for today. I think we covered everything that we wanted to cover. You guys got anything else comes to mind, or?
Nope.
All right.
Do a quick check, make sure that there's nothing.
Breaking
news like there was last week.
I was gonna do that too. Check Twitter. Is there anything trending on Twitter right now? I'm checking.
Nope. Next week we'll do more in-depth on building situation for teams in the NHL. But do that next week.
Yeah.
And we'll also deal with any other news that comes out next week, as well as what we think from preseason. So.
Yeah, the preseason we've only really seen 2 games, so it'll be better to get in to see because as we get closer, the lineups and the rosters will get cut down more, so they won't be able to have 2 different actual teams going with it every night.
Yeah.
So thank you guys all for listening. Thank you for watching. If you guys liked the video, consider giving us a like, subscribe if you really liked it. You guys can find us on Spotify at Off the Boards. You can find us on Twitter at OTB Hockey Pod. And you can find us on YouTube at Off the Boards with Josh and Ryan, which probably is going to get changed at some point to just Off the Boards. I just haven't done it yet. But thank you guys all for listening and watching, however you guys chose to listen or watch us today. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week. Have a good week, guys.